Wow. Ryan Garcia calls out Devin Haney for missing what is required by the California State Athletic Commission in terms of weight for his fight with Regis Prograis. Let's take a look at it.
Where you have a fighter who could potentially, and this is what I thought about, and I went back to the Mago case in New York because I keep thinking about this. This is not something that we don't know about. This is something that we know about. Okay, it's one thing if we let somebody fight with drugs and we don't know about it. We know this fighter's 15% or heavier, and perhaps the opponent's nowhere near that heavy. And if something bad happens in that bout, I think that I don't know about the law liability wise and all that. I'm not going there. I just don't think that looks that great. I think we knowingly let something bad happen, and to me that's a health and safety issue.
Wow. So reportedly this is the commission, somebody from the California State Commission or the board or whatever, and he's saying, yo, this is a bad look. Now, the person on Twitter, X, said exposing of Devin Haney continues, karma is real and is coming back to him tenfold. A ban or suspension should be sought after. There's no reason any fighter should be coming in 18% heavier than the fighting weight. It's illegal, first off, and dangerous to the opponent. So Ryan Garcia clearly seen this, and he says, dang, where is his suspension? Just stop Bill Haney, Eddie Hearn, and Devin Haney, or I'll make it horrible for y'all. So Ryan Garcia says, like, the exposing is not done. Now, this is not shocking to me because I've already made a video about this on a live stream pretty much right after this became a controversy, because there were a lot of people complaining, saying Ryan cheated with the weight and this, that, and the third. And I told you and I explained and expressed to you guys that the weight, Ryan missed the initial contracted weight. That part is his problem. I get it. However, Ryan Garcia, from that point, Team Haney had an opportunity to decide what their next move was going to be. And they decided that they wanted to continue fighting against Ryan. They decided that, who's that? Damn, who is that? So they decided, y'all got me distracted. So they decided to press on with the fight. Fair play. You took Ryan's money and you decided that you wanted to continue the bout, and you continue the bout. You can't then cry about it because it didn't play out in your favor. You can't then say, oh no, but I want a mulligan. I want a do-over. I didn't mean for it to be like this. It's not how that works. At the end of the day, Ryan missed his weight, canceled the fight. You had Arnold Barboza, who was brought in, and he was brought in as a replacement because Ryan Garcia had been acting very bizarre. But it was the arrogance of Team Haney that decided to just continue to play ball. And they continued to play this game until all this other unfortunate stuff happened after. Like, he got beat, he got dropped. Some people said it was exposed. And then Ryan, on top of all of that, pops dirty with Osterine, and the B sample should come about later today. We should see like kind of what the result is for the B sample. But I warn people, anybody who would listen, stay tuned to the end of this video, I'll show you. But I've warned people of all these things. And, you know, Ryan was playing these games and he finessed you. He was doing all the antics. And it's funny to me, like in terms of Bill Haney gave Ryan Garcia a psychology for dummy books, but clearly the psychological edge went to Ryan Garcia because now he's posted memes and like this. Devin Haney spotted at a Miami mall following a devastating loss to Ryan Garcia. Will we ever see him compete again? You know, and they got this like, I don't even know what you call it, but they got this Photoshop picture of Devin looking like the clumps, you know? And this was very, very easy for me to see what was going on, assess the situation, and it stank and it smelled problems. And I told you guys all the time on my channel, this is what happens when you clout chase Gervonta Davis. I think being thirsty, not staying in your true lane, things of that sort, this is unfortunately what can happen, where you have the Haneys they made great progress doing what they were doing, and they were so thirsty for more and more and more fame to the point where they bit off more than they could chew, couldn't get past Tank's leftovers. So now Devin Haney's whole career is in limbo. Yes, the B sample stuff should come back and we'll get the news with that. But I told you, regardless of that, there's still a beating that was put on the opponent, which is Devin Haney. Like, for example, if you get into a car accident and then you're badly banged up and you get, like, let's say somebody just crashes into you, right? And it's very bad. Your vehicle is damaged, and then you submit a claim through your insurance. The insurance does their investigation, and even if the insurance, they actually, decide in your favor and say, hey, you were at the red light, the other person wasn't paying attention, they were texting, and then they crashed into you, they were at fault, so they're gonna pay your claim out. That in and of itself is good, but it doesn't change the fact that you went through the trauma, you went through the car wreck, you got wrecked into, you have whiplash, your back hurts, your neck is sore, right? That is still there. And that's the point that I've always made regarding this fight after it happened. Devin Haney still, like, people are like, oh, he was overweight, and now there's an 8-page letter and the whole Osterine business. That's another issue. That's a completely different issue. The point I'm making is you still went through a punishing fight. Your dad didn't throw in the towel. The fight was allowed to continue, and you got hurt several times. And the best I could give you is you showed heart. And unfortunately, in the sport of boxing, that's sometimes what happens, in terms of you could do your best, but if your best isn't good enough on that given night, it could get to a point where you might not be the same fighter. And that's just being honest. And not just you might not be the same fighter, to others you might not be perceived as the same fighter, because undefeated fighters where it hasn't been unlocked how to beat them, that comes with almost an aura, especially if you're a rated fighter that everyone knows and things like that, and people speak well in your performance. Like, Devin literally went from his career best performance, moving up in weight, to Regis Prograis, to his career worst performance. And then now you have this business that Ryan is talking about regarding the weight. And I told you, this is a violation of the California State Athletic Commission. They passed a rule where the opponent was not supposed to gain more than 15% of the contracted weight. Devin, the variance was 18%. So given the fact the fight was in Cali and it was in San Francisco against Regis Prograis, Regis has always said he took it on the chin, but he knows that the contract really was voided. So, you know, some of that goes to Regis Prograis, because it's just like when Devin got finessed by Ryan Garcia with the 3.2 pounds, and obviously that didn't work out well for him come fight night. Regis also agreed to keep going and didn't create a stink and fuss about it. So it is what it is. He lost his WBC belt as a result of it. But Regis Prograis has done several interviews where he stated he believes that it's karma that Devin Haney has received. Is karma based on the fact that he did the same kind of weight bullying, weight games that you're seeing Ryan Garcia do in his fight with Devin Haney. Devin was doing that to Lomachenko and these crazy rehydrations versus Regis Prograis. and then now it came back to bite him. So that's another thing that doesn't fare well with Team Haney, is the fact that they played the weight games too and never cried about it, never complained about it, because Devin kept winning. But as soon as he loses, that's the first thing they reach for. You know what I mean? It's almost like a gangbanger who gets shot in the leg and then he's complaining about gun violence. But that same gangbanger was shooting at the ops and going to other people's set, other people's neighborhood, and he was shooting people and he didn't care what happened to them until he got shot in the leg. Now he's on some different, like, you know, can't we all just get along, or put the guns down, no gun violence. The bottom line is, it's hypocritical. Live by the sword, die by the sword. If you are into that lifestyle, you know what comes with it, and the gang banging, and you shot at the ops, you can't really be surprised if they retaliate and do what you did to their hood to your hood. You know what I mean? And that's just the gritty and brutal nature of this world. So Ryan Garcia, we'll see what happens with this. I mean, the fight with Regis is over, but you guys heard the guy with the commission. He's basically saying, we don't want this on our watch. What if something bad happens? You're outweighing this guy. And he says, just from all angles, knowing that we let this fight commence and you're over the variance that you're supposed to be, you're 18% heavier, I don't really like that, you know? And I don't know specifically who that guy is. This video just got leaked, but I'm assuming, based on what's being said, somebody got a hold of it from the Haney Prograis fight and leaked it, because it looks like it's directly revolving around the situational things from the Haney Prograis fight. So the Haneyacks, a lot of them just mention, oh, but Ryan Garcia, he didn't make his contracted weight. That's true indeed. But technically, from a technical perspective, Devin Haney has made his weight, but he still infracted upon the California State Athletic Commission rule. From a technical standpoint, I don't know what happened, or if someone got paid off or whatever, but technically he wasn't supposed to be able to fight in California, in San Francisco, coming in heavier than the allowed 15%, which he did. But somebody pulled some strings or talked down the commission, or I don't know exactly how it was allowed to continue. But this is again why Regis Prograis says it is karma, because Regis Prograis says he was on the opposing side of that and he came up short. People, same thing. People like, you got cooked by Devin Haney. He dropped you. He hurt you. You're weak. Retire. You know, and he was on the bad side of that because he lost bad to Devin Haney, and people dogged him out, suggesting like, yo, you got cooked. But people didn't put into consideration anything about weight, because a lot of people didn't know that. They just know that Devin made the weight on the scale. But sometimes there's more than meets the eye. As far as the B sample, today is B sample day. We shall see what it is, what it ain't. You know, this is Ryan Garcia's fight that he has to fight. The B sample should be open today. It's going to be interesting online, to say the least. So make sure you guys subscribe to my channel, and I'll talk about it as soon as the results are made public.